Hi, this is Gary with Loyal Shops. I'm excited to show you Live Assistant Pro. Let's do a first walkthrough of this new live software that's going to really help a ton of people because we've got two current live platforms. We have Live Assistant, which is our basic live bot we've had for about 6 years now, and then Reply Sold that requires a Shopify store. And what we found is there's this chasm of customers that are not being served that land right in between a basic bot with Live Assistant and having a full-blown Shopify store and all of your inventory details and etc. We're going to show you Live Assistant Pro, walk through the initial setup to get you comfortable with it, talk about key features inside the software that we've just added to the industry, and let's get started. And we're going to go into Live Dashboard for our first live example. One of the most powerful features of Live Assistant Pro is how we handle your inventory. We understand you're extremely busy and many of you have two jobs. That also means that you probably don't have time to have a detailed list of your inventory. It comes in so often, changes so often. We completely understand that. We've built this software to work around the challenges that you have to bring in lots of product, not have time to detail it all out, but still need to sell it in a very timely manner and get you back to the things that you love doing and make you money in the process. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. There are two main ways to bring in inventory into Live Assistant Pro. The first one is through a method here called Create Inventory List. It's a very simple way to quickly add in some accelerators so that you don't have to put in a detailed 100-line list of inventory. Very few people have time for that, certainly not single entrepreneurs. So let's just do that. What we're going to do right now is we're going to click on this Create Inventory List, and we're going to create the simplest live possible, a $5 flash sale. For this demonstration, it'll be a thrift business, so we'll call it Gently Worn Clothing. All right, brings up this pop-up, create a pre-live inventory list. And we're going to say that we've got 100 live tiles from 100 to 200 we're going to use for this flash sale. So we'll click here on this claim number and we're going to put in 100. And then over here, we're going to put in 200. So 100 numbers. We're going to call all of them Gently Worn Clothing. We'll skip the descriptions. Everything's $5. And we're going to add that inventory. We added 100 items into our inventory list, and you can see that list right here. I can actually click on one of them so that you can see it's exactly what we put in there. Item 100, Gently Worn Clothing, $5. And so what this means is now when we go live, someone can write sold 100 or sold 120 or sold 150 or sold 170 or sold 200, any of those numbers, they'll all come up Gently Worn Clothing for $5. And the golden thing about this is we took about 30 seconds to create this inventory list, and we now have enough information to invoice because we've got a automatic invoicing system coming. It'll come shortly after we launch. And when we do that, we're going to be able to deliver you automatic invoicing and save you a half an hour, maybe even 2 hours every time you go live. Let's talk a little bit more about other options. So that's the pop-up. And you don't need to just put in one line. We could add 2 or 3 or 4 lines of this level of power and do some section at $5, a section of clothing at $10, a section of clothing at $15, just by doing a couple pop-up screens. Or you can bring up a spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Apple Numbers or Microsoft Excel or any number of spreadsheet programs and put in a few lines of inventory information into a CSV file, and then you can actually import that when you go live. One of the nice things about a CSV file is if you build out something detailed that you can use every live, then you don't have to do the pop-up anymore. You'll just load that CSV every time you go live. So there's reasons for both options. All depends on the situation you're in, and do you end up creating a CSV file that works for you every live, or a couple categories of CSV files for different types of lives? All up to you. And you just need to learn more to be able to take full advantage of all the power that Live Assistant Pro Inventory is going to be able to give you. There's a template here that you can download, a CSV template, so that you can load it into your spreadsheet program and then put your inventory into it. And then over here, when you click on this, it brings up a video that lets you learn more about how to create inventory lists. That's the basics. Please look into the details for even more information and learn more about how powerful a Loyal Shops Pro inventory can be. In the meantime, we're going to click on Continue with Facebook, and move on Facebook software here for a moment. It will continue as you choose all the pages that you're going to go live with. I'm going to choose all of these, but if you have any that you know you're not going to go live with, you can unmark them. But otherwise, preference is for you to check them all, because all this does is give us access to show them to you in the future, and then you can choose at the moment you're going live which page you wish to go live with. Also, if you use shared platforms or other people's pages, there's an easy way to get back to the screen, so you can always add a page or a platform at any time with our software, and we'll show you how to do that later. This is the permissions that Live Assistant Pro is allowed to use. I recommend leaving them all on for the functionality to work properly. All right, you're now connected to Facebook. If you see it asking you for a login during this section, it's asking you for your Facebook credentials, not for your Loyal Shops credentials. So this part is actually Facebook connecting to your Facebook profile and finding out what business pages you have access to, and then you're letting Facebook know that we're allowed to access certain pages on your behalf. So keep that in mind. We're back into the Loyal Shops software. Inventory loaded, set up for your live, shop live text enabled. We have a texting service that you can use that when you're signed up for our texting, it's available for all accounts. You just pay for the text that you use. Once it's installed, you can have the option for people who have signed up for your texting service to be texted the moment you go live. Leave this one enabled. This is the comment responses to live. What happens is when we help you with your live, we respond back to the customer with comments. If you were to turn this off, we would go silent. Then you're going to choose the page or platform that you're going to go live on. We're going to choose Loyal Shops Test Page 4. And by the way, right here is the instructions. If you ever need to add a page or a platform at a later time, if you click here, it'll open up the instructions on how to do that. Loyal Shops Test Page 4. This is the one we're going to go live on, but actually I want to show you something else here. So this is a page that's set up as a personal page for a particular retailer. The first thing you see here is choices to make. The first one is wait for your live. If you choose this option, it will go to a place where it says Live Assistant Pro is ready to help you with your live. Just start your live when you're ready. On your own page, you can click this option. It's now ready. Then when you're ready, you start your live on your phone, usually your Facebook Live. Live Assistant Pro will wake up and start helping you. This is a great way if you're by yourself on your own page and you want to start a live quickly and make sure that you're really engaged with your customer. If you were to start a live right away, you would see a live pop up here, and then you could click it and join a live that's already in progress. You can click on a posted live, start recording any sales that were in that posted video. One thing I want to show you is this is for a personal page. There is another concept called shared pages or shared platforms. And that is where you've got entrepreneurs that have built up their business page or platform to have many, many shoppers viewing that page. And then they offer their services to other retailers to allow them to go on those platform pages and sell with a larger breadth of customers. They usually charge per hour, and each individual platform has its own prices. Some of them may actually offer our Live Assistant and Live Assistant Pro services as an additional charge. If you end up wishing to set up a platform, you can contact us, and we have a special arrangement for shared page platforms for different pricing. Okay, what I want to show you is I have a Loyal Shops Test Page 3 that's set up as a shared platform. When you choose a shared platform or business page used by many retailers, you'll see this shared platform logo. In addition, what you'll notice is the wait for a live to start is now been removed. The reason we do that is when there's multiple retailers all starting their lives near the same time, it's possible for someone to get confused and click on the wrong person's live. And so we remove the wait for option so that you don't set yourself up to wait, but then someone starts a live and jumps onto your Live Assistant service. So what we do is we remove that wait for a live option on shared platforms, and instead you start up your Live Assistant Pro to this point. It tells you it's looking for a new live, and then once the actual live starts, it will show up right here and you can click on it. All right, I'm going to pop back into 4 and show you that exact point. So we're back to 4. It is our personal page. This is what most people will see. They can choose for a wait for a live, or they can choose for their live to show up here. All right, so what we're going to do is do just that. I'm going to start up our live. So we've got our live here. This is live now, 6:22, 3 p.m. when the live started, live sale, tons of new products, and whatever else you've written in your live description. A picture of you snapped when the live started. And so now you actually have a very good visual and a red dot that it's currently live, the date, the time, and your live description so that you know for sure it's your live that you're picking. So we're going to end up choosing that live. And here we are. Live Assistant Pro is ready for your first claim. A couple things you'll notice. There is a SKU, claim item, and barcode area here. Live Assistant Pro does not require barcoding, though if you do end up installing a CSV that has barcode features, it will work. It's up to you. I think for most of our Live Assistant Pro subscribers, they're going to just use claim item. I think it's the simplest, and so we'll see that quite a bit. But we can support SKU, we can support barcode, and we can support claim numbers for claiming. This is the profile picture for the page that we're currently on. A red ring means we're currently live. A teal ring means that we're not live. You can actually click this profile, and then if you had chosen the wrong page or something, you can jump to another one at this place. I'm going to push it again and wrap it back up, but I want you to know that that's there. Over here, we have our current sales information. This is number of items in the cart or have been claimed and the dollar amount of those items. Now that we can load a CSV that can have the product definitions in them as well as quantity and pricing, we now show you how many items have been claimed and the dollar amounts in real time. Now you're ready to start selling. There are two different ways you can start your live, and it just comes down to personal preference. One is you can pre-input an item that you're going to sell so your customers can see that information. One of the things I'm going to do here is we have this feature down here, this blue bar at the bottom, and this blue bar is a real-time listing of all the comments in the live. So if I grab this and pull it up, we can see the initial comment for the live here. And then as people claim, we're going to see those claims showing up here as well. So what we'll show you now is a retailer entering a product before they start selling it so the customers can see the details. So our first item is item 1. Item 1 is a vintage t-shirt. We have 5 of them and they're $5 each. This availability information will change in real time as customers claim. You'll also notice that down here there is a comment in the live, because I put that number 1 in here, that item 1 is a vintage t-shirt, $5, quantity 5, and to purchase it you do a sold 1, and that will claim the item. So let's go ahead and do an example of that. All right, I've had 2 customers, Misty and Joy, both claim this item. We went from a quantity of 5 down to 3. Down below here, you can see their 2 sold comments, sold 1 and sold 1. And the 2 responses back. Misty, 1 is yours, vintage t-shirt, you're amazing. If you're a new shopper, here's how you register. And there's a link. One of the features that we've added with Live Assistant Pro is we automatically create a registration page for every single user when they purchase a subscription for Live Assistant Pro. This gives you a web page where you can capture customers' name, their email, and their zip code for invoicing. Here we see that a third person has claimed, Gary, and you can see that there is a red @ and a red Z next to their name. This person has not registered with us. We do not have their email and we do not have their zip code. And this is dynamic. So if the customer was then prompted by you in the live or by the prompts we have already built into Live Assistant Pro and they registered during the live, this @ and Z will disappear as they've given us their email and their zip code. We look for the registration in your registration database of your account. If they fill out the registration information, we can see it from there live during the live or if previously done. And third, if they were to put in their email and zip code in the actual live, we can see that dynamically. We can pull out that email and zip, put it into your account since it's your live, and we'll remove that red @ and Z in real time so that by the end of the live, if you've asked them to register and they do register, you'll know that they've registered because that red A and the Z @ and the Z will have been removed. We think that's going to be a great feature to help you reduce ghosting so that you really know those customers are registered before you even leave, and you can prompt them. All right, let's continue. Okay, so for this example, I put in a 1 ahead of time. The customer was notified in the live, and they were able to claim. In this example, instead, imagine that I'm actually holding up a Happy Day V-neck t-shirt. It happens to be item number 2. I don't have to do anything with Live Dashboard. I can just show the item. I can has a number 2 on the actual item and tell customers, if you're interested in this item, it's $8.50. I have 3 of them, and it's sold to. So I'm going to have my customers here comment sold to. And as you can see here, sold to for Misty and Joy, and then eventually Gary as well. And you can see here that we had 3 of these, 3 people claimed, and now we have a silver ball here, which means we're sold out. There's 0 left. Another nice feature of Live Assistant Pro, we have a wait list that does not have a limit. Many customers try to purchase. If we have quantity, we'll give it to them. As many people who try to claim, but there's not availability, we'll keep a wait list as long as there are people who are claiming. And this was all done from someone just seeing a number on the screen. The information for the item was all delivered before the live started, and we knew that it was a Happy Day V-neck t-shirt. We knew that it was a medium. We knew it was $8.50, that it was blue, and what the quantity was. I want to explain another concept to you. So far, we've shown you a vintage t-shirt that didn't have a size, didn't have a color. It was just 5 shirts. Now we're showing you a item that's blue and it's medium. I had 3 of them. It's also possible to have multi-variant SKUs with Live Assistant Pro. You can give us a spreadsheet that has shirt that has 3 colors and 8 sizes, and you can sell them all at the same time. Sold 1, 2, 3, blue, medium. Sold 1, 2, 3, orange, 3XL, etc. And we will keep track in Live Dashboard here of all of the variations and the quantities for each, and wait lists for all of those variations as well. This will greatly accelerate your sales if you've previously been using Live Assistant and had to do a per number for each individual variant that you offered. Now you can sell them all at once. We have an additional accelerator that's completely new for live selling, and I think it's going to really help out a ton of people that perhaps don't have a great handle on their inventory, or they don't have it in a place where they can easily download their inventory, but they need to go live and with detail and want to be prepared to be able to do invoicing with us. Our job with Live Assistant Pro was to build many new features enabling you to make the most money in the least amount of time possible. That's our goal. Let's give you an example of what you can do with range claiming and selling. A quick, easy example. You have a live where everything is going to be $10. Vintage clothing, $10. You could give us a inventory spreadsheet that has item 1 is vintage clothing, $10, and then item 10, vintage clothing, $10. Item 100, vintage clothing, 100 lines for 100 products. What you can do with range claiming is that you give us the claim item start, item 1, and the claim item end in the spreadsheet, 100, and that they're all $10, and the description is vintage clothing. That's it. Now you can label your numbers of your products 1 through 100, and every one of them, when you sell item 1, it's going to come up as vintage clothing, $10. In the sales history, vintage clothing, $10, and eventually with our auto invoicing, vintage clothing, $10. This will allow you to give us very little information, go live within seconds of you needing to, and be able to have enough information to give the customer a basic description, the price, and move on. Let's take a second example. Instead of everything being $5, the first 20 products are 5, the second 20 are 10, the third 20 are 15, and the fourth 20 items are $20. So you curate your products out and you split them into the first 20 are 5, 10, 15, 20 on a rack. And then you give us a spreadsheet that says items 1 through 20 are vintage clothing at $5. Items 21 through 40 are vintage clothing at $10. Item 41 through 60 are vintage clothing at $15. And then 61 through 80 are vintage clothing at $20. 4 lines in a spreadsheet. Now when you go live and you bring up item 1, we're going to know it's vintage clothing at $5. You bring up item number 25, we're going to know it's vintage clothing at $10. Again, with very little input, You've told us what we needed to know as far as giving it a general description, a price, and you're going to be good to go for auto invoicing as soon as it's ready. That's some quick examples of range claiming and selling. I'll give you another example. Maybe you sell purses and you've got 20 purses that are brown leather, but they're slightly different personalities. Maybe they have a different color accent or they have different design tassels. So you're going to want to show each one individually so that people can buy the one based on the personality of the bag. But they're all brown leather bags for $30. So you do a range sale where you say item 1 to item 30 are brown leather purses at $30. And then you're going to be able to do is take all those 30 purses and mark them 1 and then 2 and 3 all the way through 30. And then you're going to be able to show purse number 1. It's got this and it's got this blue tassel. Here's purse number 2. This one's got a pinstripe around it. It's brown leather but with a pink pinstripe. It's item number 2. All of those are going to turn into brown leather purse at $30, but they'll each individual have their own number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And instead of you writing 30 lines in a spreadsheet, you've given us 1 line and we can do that scaling for you. Hopefully that makes sense for how RangeLive work, and I think it'll be a fantastic accelerator. Of course, you can give us every detail for every single product, or you can do something like that flash sale where I gave you just 1 line, or you can do a mix and match anywhere in between to give us detail when you need to, and you can highlight just and skip with these accelerators as well. Everyone's business is different. We're giving you these tools to allow you to have the level of detail to be balanced with the time you have on a per live basis and set you up for being able to do automated invoicing and get you to make more money in a smaller amount of time and get you back to enjoying life, having time with the family, etc. We're going to do item number 3 next. These are 4th of July t-shirts in small, quantity 5. And maybe I realize looking down that I miscounted and I actually have 6. I have the ability to click here and then I can choose 6. And that's a really nice accelerator to give me a chance to make a change when I've made a mistake, either on a price or on a quantity. Another wonderful feature about Live Assistant Pro is it's cloud-based. Once I end this live, our cloud services take over and will continue to monitor this live for sales. Even if your device is logged out and even if your devices are turned off, we're reading from the cloud and we'll continue looking for additional sales, and you'll be able to see those in the sales history as they happen. Also notice that we've had 6 claims and that here we have 6 items listed for a total of $40.50. Quite helpful for you to have that detail. And then we'll be able to move into sales history and look at more details. I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the live dashboard part of Live Assistant Pro. Look forward to showing you more. We now move into sales history. We have the ability to filter history by live sale or by customer. This will allow you to do things like invoice on a per sale basis, or perhaps you want to invoice at the end of the day after multiple sales, middle of the week, or maybe once a week. Customer view will let you do that. Looking at live sale view, this is the live that we just ended up doing, 6/22 at 3:18 p.m. This is the profile picture for the live. You can see we have that 6 items in the cart at $40.50. I can click anywhere here to expand it. And you can see here we have export sales option to create a CSV file, place to add an email if we don't already have it. As we showed before, we can pull in emails from both registration forms, directly in the live itself from commenting, as well as in the retailer's account. And as you saw here, we have Joy Elsasser's email, Joy at Loyal Shops, and the zip code. We have a lookup system for all the zip codes in the United States so that when someone enters their zip code, in sales history, we'll apply the state as well to give you more information for shipping determination. We don't have any pending items here, but the blue dot are items in the cart. If there had been waitlisted items, people that were next in line, that would show a red dot with the item information. And then if they were not next in line, but still on the wait list beyond the next in line, then they would show with a silver dot. And you can see that the claim item numbers here, as well as the product information, the pricing, the ability to delete an item, and the ability to click here to give an item for free. If a customer is ready to be invoiced, we can go to them, do the the invoice. Once that's done, we can click from this invoice ready to invoice sent. Now we've marked that they've been sent. And then once they've actually paid their invoice, we can then mark them as invoice paid. As you can see here, the 6 items went to 4, and 2 of those items now show as checked out at $13.50, which is these items now marked as paid. If they were to then purchase on an additional live, then this person that was already marked invoice paid would have incremental additions added here, invoice ready again, so that you can have one person in multiple states, some products that were in an invoice ready state, some that are invoice sent state, and then whatever they've paid for in the past will show here as well. We try to move items that are paid down to the bottom so that you can focus at the top of all of your customers with the orders that are needing your attention. That's a wrap up of sales history from a live sale point of view. From a customer's point of view, you can see that you've got Gary here and there's multiple lives. So you can see from the live we just did, which is showing here, and then the one that was done earlier this morning is also here under Gary as well. Under the customer view, it's not just showing us this live, it's showing us 2 lives, and the total is $18.50. And if I wanted to, I would invoice these 3 items and then mark it invoice paid once they've paid. Same thing here for Misty. We've got 2 items that she's got from the live we just did, 2 items from earlier this morning's live for a total of $27. We invoice her, then we mark it invoice sent, and then once she's paid, we can mark it invoice paid. Hope you love Live Assistant Pro like we do, and look forward to helping grow your business even more with Live Assistant Pro. Take care.